In this video, I'm going to teach you how to acquire $40,000 in business funding with only one hard inquiry. Let's begin. Step number one is going to be structuring your personal credit report. Now, before you go for business funding, understand that 99.99999% of banks that you're going to want to get business credit from are going to use your personal credit to determine if they'll approve you or deny you for the funding that you're looking for. So we want to make sure our personal credit report is exactly where it needs to be. Now, the ideal structure you need to have for your personal credit report so that you can walk in and out of any bank with that bag is 100% payment history, 6 to 10 plus positive credit accounts, having a credit card utilization of underneath 10%, 2+ years of credit history, and 3 or less hard inquiries showing on each and every one of your personal credit reports. If your credit report falls in line with each of those requirements, then you have the exact foundation needed for you to go out and get business funding. Now, if you don't, mainly because your credit isn't where it needs to be because of negative items that are holding you back, then you can head over to my company's website at takeallfinancial.com and schedule a free consultation to speak with me and my team on getting your credit restored. But back to the video. Step number 2 is going to be structuring our LLC. So once our personal credit report is taken care of, that means we're going to have everything we need on the personal side to go out and get funding. But before we can go to these banks, we also need to make sure that everything on the business side is taken care of as well. So on top of having a good personal credit report, we also need to make sure that our business is properly structured. Now, most of you have an LLC, which is great. However, if that LLC is not properly structured, it's going to make it difficult for you to form a relationship with these banks and get the funding you're looking for to grow your business. So with that being the case, what exactly does a properly structured business look like? Well, in order for your business to be properly structured, it needs its own business address, its own phone number, its own email address, its own website, along with an EIN, an operating agreement, and an articles of organization. Now, for the sake of time, I'm not going to break down each and every one of those things on this video. However, I did make another video where I explain each of these down to the T and how you can get them set up correctly. I'll leave a link for that video in the description below for your reference, but let's keep going. Now, after we have our personal credit report structured and our business structured properly, next, step number 3 is going to be to create a funding sequence. So now that we've taken care of ourselves on the personal side and our business is properly structured, technically we are now in position to go and get funding. However, even though we're in position, we want to make sure that we have the right strategy so that when we go out and get funding, we're not just getting any type of funding. We're getting the bag for our business. Now, how we're going to establish that strategy is by creating something that is called a business funding sequence. So a business funding sequence is a list of banks that you and I are going to create based on what credit reporting agencies that these banks pull from. So if you remember early on in the video, we talked about having the correct structure when it comes to our personal credit report because these banks are going to use our personal credit report to determine how much funding they're going to give us in our business. But to take it a step further, it's important for you to understand that not all banks will use the same credit reports to determine how much funding that they're going to give you. So some banks are going to use your credit report that you have with Experian. Others will use the credit report that you have with Equifax and TransUnion, right? So in order for us to get that maximum amount of funding when creating our funding sequence, we want to have one bank that pulls from Equifax, one bank that pulls from TransUnion, and one bank that pulls from Experian. Now, even though you guys know what a funding sequence is, to save you the time of finding out where these banks pull from, what I'm going to do is give you a step-by-step funding sequence that's going to unlock $40,000 in business credit for your business while only getting you one hard inquiry on your personal credit report. So the first bank you're going to go to for your business funding sequence is going to be Truist Bank. Now, Truist is going to do a hard pull on your Equifax report for whichever of their business credit products you apply for, but this is going to be the only hard inquiry that remains on our credit report throughout the entire process. The next bank you're going to go to is Chase Bank. Now, Chase is going to do a hard pull on your Experian report, which will leave an inquiry. However, here's the catch. When applying for business credit products, even though they leave inquiries on our personal credit report, because those business credit products do not show on your personal credit report, you can call into the credit reporting agencies and have those inquiries disputed and removed the same day they appear without it closing the business credit card that you just got approved for. So with that being the case, we're going to call into Experian and ask them to remove the inquiry we got from Chase. And if you don't know the number to call to have those inquiries disputed and removed, I'll leave it on screen for you right here so you know exactly where you need to call. Next, since we got the inquiry removed from our Experian credit report, that technically means we can go back to using our Experian credit report once again and use the same exact strategy that we use from Chase with another bank that also pulls from Experian. So next, we're going to go to American Express, which also pulls from Experian. And once we get approved for one of their business credit products, we're going to call Experian the same day to have that inquiry removed as well. But here's another catch. When it comes to American Express, once you apply for one of their business credit products that gives you a hard inquiry, that credit report that they pulled is going to stay registered in their system, meaning that we can come back and apply for as many different credit products as we want without having to get another hard pull on our personal credit report. So instead of us just applying for one business credit product with American Express, we're going to apply for two. And on the low end, if we're only able to get $10,000 in funding from each of the business credit products that we apply for, that's going to give us $10,000 in funding from Chase, $10,000 in funding from Truist. And since we're going to get two business credit products from Amex, that's going to give us $20,000 in funding from American Express, bringing us to a total of $40,000 in business funding with only one hard inquiry on our personal credit report. So if you're interested in getting business funding, but you've been struggling to do so due to your personal credit report, make sure you head over to my company's website at takeoffinancial.com and book a consultation to speak with me and my team so we can help you get your credit restored. But as always, thanks for watching, guys. Peace.